After a night of violent protests and looting, Minnesota Governor Tim Walz on Friday called for calm, while the officer at the center of the controversy was arrested and charged with murder. George Floyd! George Floyd! Derek Chauvin, the white policeman seen on a bystander's video kneeling on the neck of George Floyd, a black man, has been charged with third-degree murder and manslaughter. The protests in Minneapolis this week were sparked by outrage over Monday's death of 46-year-old Floyd. A bystander's cell phone footage showed Floyd repeatedly moaning and gasping while he pleaded to Chauvin, quote, "Please, I can't breathe." After several minutes, Floyd gradually grows quiet and stops moving. Earlier on Friday, Governor Walz called for, quote, "swift justice for the officers involved" and promised a reckoning with the racial inequities behind the unrest.
I understand clearly there is no trust in many of our communities, but I'm asking you to help us. Help us use humane way to get the streets to a place where we can restore the justice so that those that are expressing rage and anger and demanding justice are heard.
But he said that first the state's National Guard would work to restore order following 3 nights of unrest.
Do you mind telling me why I'm under arrest, sir?
Walz also apologized for the arrest of a CNN TV crew who were let off in handcuffs while reporting live on television early on Friday close to a police precinct that was burned overnight. U.S. President Donald Trump on Friday at a news conference did not take questions about the controversy in Minnesota, but did weigh in on the arrest earlier in the day with incendiary language that prompted Twitter to hide his tweet behind a warning that accused him of, quote, glorifying violence in violation of its rules. Trump tweeted, "These thugs are dishonoring the memory of George Floyd, and I won't let that happen. Any difficulty, and we will assume control. But when the looting starts, the shooting starts."
I just had an opportunity to speak with the Floyd family.
Democratic presidential candidate Joe Biden on Friday struck a different tone.
It's time for us to take a hard look at the uncomfortable truths. It's time for us to face that deep, open wound we have in this nation. We need justice for George Floyd. We need real police reform that hold cops to a higher standard that so many of them actually meet, that holds bad cops accountable.
Trump later had a more measured response.
Terrible event, terrible, terrible thing that happened. I've asked that the Department of Justice expedite the federal investigation into his death and do it immediately, do it as quickly as absolutely possible. We also have to make the statement, and it's very important, that we have peaceful protesters and support the rights for peaceful protesters. We can't allow a situation like happened in Minneapolis to descend further into lawless anarchy and chaos, and we understand that very well.
More protests were expected in several U.S. cities on Friday over the killing of Floyd and other unarmed black people, including Breonna Taylor, who was fatally shot by police in her home in Louisville, Kentucky in March.